Welcome to Multifamily Collective. I haven't done this for a while, doing the handheld video. Struggling with a piece of technology today, but I wanted to get an episode in because I'm committed to getting one in every single day in the calendar year of 2024. So that being said, I wanted to talk about a communications agreement. So many times in the property management world, especially the third-party property management world, and it's not many times, it is just really kind of germane to 2024. And the reality that rent growth has come down, costs have gone up, especially in the arena of insurance and interest rates, taxes. Things are uncontrollable, expenses have gone up, and it's putting a real squeeze on controllables, and it's putting a real focus on being able to increase revenue and ancillary revenue to the extent that you can. And what's happened is that in the third-party world, asset managers have really gotten more involved. They're down in the weeds. Asset managers from third-party property management companies are down in the weeds today. They are attempting to manage each and every component of the operational system at the site. Now, sometimes that is necessary. Sometimes it's not necessary, but they feel compelled to do it because it's all hands on deck to make sure that the assets are performing well, that they're optimizing both on the rev side and on the cost control side. What happens also, if we're being honest with ourselves, is you have a team member in an asset management role that has never worked a day in the life of a property manager or a maintenance supervisor or an assistant manager or a leasing consultant. They've never worked a day in the life. They've never sat in the seat of a property manager or any one of those roles for that matter, attempting to control or run or advise on cost savings and ramping up revenue and ancillary revenue. And doing all of the fundamental pieces, attempting to do all the fundamental pieces or control all the fundamental pieces that move those, all those levers that you have to twist and turn to make that happen. So there's no real context or perspective outside of the fact that we've run a tremendous amount of models in our lifetime, financial models, and we've put in expense or income to expense ratios that we believe in our heart of hearts are germane to that asset in that market or in that sub-market. And the reality is we don't really know. And it becomes very difficult because then the asset manager feels compelled to go out there and run the show themselves, or that particular institution feels like they need to do that. And look, I get it. And it is an all hands on deck effort, especially in a climate like 2024. But here's what happens, and here's where I think that the asset itself gets penalized, is we end up having an endless number of meetings, and whether that be over Zoom and or at the site or one-off telephone calls here and one-off telephone calls there, and we don't understand that that administrative burden is putting a tax on the asset itself, because the regional manager or the senior vice president or the regional vice president are all consumed. Their time is consumed with phone calls and pulling reports and giving over data and answering one-off questions when they need to be on the site, helping the site team run the asset. And so you get caught up in this endless number of meetings, this endless number of inquiries. My suggestion, my encouragement is to do this. Keep an open document where if something crosses your mind, you put it in the open document, you put a line item in the open document, whether it be a Word document or an Excel spreadsheet. You just keep a running list of the questions that you have. And once a week for 1 hour, you have a phone call and you answer all of those questions. And the property manager needs to show up with all the answers to all of those questions. So the doc is real time, it's live. You go in and see it. Something's in there. You just answer the questions, put the backup source in there, put the data in there. And then once every other week or once every 3 weeks, you're out on site making sure that the effort is being put forth to get the asset back on track or to continue to sustain the asset both on the income side and on the expense side. But don't consume the third-party property management company's only resource that is effective in terms of running a property, and that is sucking all the time out of the week that they would otherwise put into the asset. I don't know how to say that any more kindly, but it just becomes burdensome. And the only thing that suffers in that equation is the asset, the performance of the asset, because nobody's spending the time where it really matters. And that is on the ground with the team, forcing the efforts in every aspect of the property management world. So just my encouragement, really take a look at what you're doing in terms of putting in the tax on third-party property management teams. Take care. We'll talk to you again soon.